don't know.
All right. So yeah, you did, and you basically asked me how I knew her and why do we fight, right?
Like I said, that was a while ago.
Okay. So this is the thing. For some reason, she can't let go of things, and she's really unwell in the head. And she denies that you exist. She denies that she thinks that I made you up. She literally brought this up after all these years. This is what she said. She goes, Marie Golani is a liar. She said that my ex-boyfriend broke up with me. That's not true. She made it all up. Okay, so now, did she break up with you?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? Consider that a huge blessing. Okay.
No, I do. Like I said, I haven't thought of you or her.
You haven't thought of me?
Yeah, I'm not on your radio show now, am
I? A little bit, yeah. No one can see you. Nobody, no one has your number. No, she just said that I made you up. Like, I made your account up and everything.
Okay. Yeah, I'm real.
I know, well, you know what? You always have a smile on your face in every picture, and I'm glad that you're happy down there in New Orleans. And I'm just going to give you some advice. What goes around comes around.
Okay, well, I mean, like I said, hopefully this doesn't go around.
Nah, you're good. Your identity's safe with me. Thank you, honey. All right, bye. Okay. There you go. I told you this was going to burn. So I'm going to take a snapshot of his name and phone number, and I'm going to make sure that Laura gets it. Yep, here we go. Ooh, everything, New Orleans. There you go. Send this over to Laura. Oh, Marissa, Molly Golani is being vicious tonight. Damn. There you go. Molly Golani is being vicious tonight. I told you, you little freak out. Don't lie about me. There's no reason for you to talk about me. I'm not talking about you. I was not talking about you. You threw yourself in the thing with Jill. Jill's a piece of shit. Everybody sees that Jill is a fucking piece of shit. And the thing is listen, we don't owe everybody. Listen, me, Katrina, Eazy-E, Jen, Cork, everyone that got screwed over and used for their money by Jill. I'm sorry, but I'm at a point where I don't care if you motherfuckers get screwed over. I only care if my Patreons get screwed over. Because my Patreons are my fucking friends. My Patreons are my bitches. Okay? And, well, Money Golani has them all on her Patreon. I've always had one. That's why I have one-on-one calls with them and one-on-one messages. They want to pay. You want to pay, like make a monster paid and paid and paid. She goes, I want my fucking money back, bitch. I want my money back. Oh, how about this? The office still stands. Office still stands, sweetheart. Leona, I will give you what you paid me. What, $650 or something? I'll triple it in cash. But here's the deal. You got to come pick it up at my house. Right? You like ice hockey? Right? Hershey Bears? How many times have you been here? Sit the fuck down. Sit down. You gonna join? Thank you. You are the worst. I don't know. I barely do Rumble. I mean, sometimes. I don't have any content at all. I'm not trying to look for content. I just hang out. I'm not like, I'm making money definitely, but I'm not doing true crime. I refuse to. Who's this? Who is this now? Oh, wow. Oh, God. Thank you guys for oh my God. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate it. Molly, you're so funny. You have me rolling. Really? I don't even care about Leona. She's ridiculous. Please come back. No. Look, you got to deal with people like Alicia. You got to deal with people like Jill who pretend to like you so that you'll give them money because they're 43 years old. They can't cook their man a fucking meatloaf. And then Jill said, I need you guys to spend money, me and Jen, for groceries for Navy Vet again. And I'm like, so she's telling us this cockamamie story how Navy Vet was robbed. Her house was robbed, and then the story changed 15 times. She lied to us and said, I blocked it, so I don't want anything to do with her. Turns out they were friends the whole time working together. After I told her off, I was like, oh, thank God. And I didn't care that I didn't know at the time, but I told the bitch, that if I lose one motherfucking Patreon, I swear on my fucking life, you're getting a visit. Coming right to your fucking house. And I know she knows that I'll do it. She's 2 hours from me. But she lives in a shit neighborhood. Like a shit neighborhood. Like disgusting. I had some plans with Jen, And my husband bought us like a $600 room at the Hotel Hershey so that we could have dinner there and fancy cocktails and all this other shit. And
did that for me. Go on.
we had a great time. And, she didn't want to tell me really what was going on because Jen wanted to have a good time. So we weren't really thinking about Jill, but I guess we were at like a brunch doing something. Everything we did was great. And Jen felt so good to get away from work, to get away from everything and just get in her car, listen to music. And while she was driving up here, Jen was like, dude, Jill was telling her, why are you still going there after what she said to me? So basically the ultimatum thing. But this was the weird thing. She was complaining about a Dizzle, right? Oh, she's giving me ultimatums. I don't like that. And then she was complaining about Gina Diamond. Remember that mess? Gina Diamond's taking money from all your Patreons. Guess what? Jill was doing the same thing. So I guess Katrina and Jennifer didn't want to upset me by telling me what Jill was doing. So Jill's over 2 hours away. And all of a sudden she's like, well, are you coming to see me? To Jen. And Jen's like, Marissa, I got to talk to you. And I'm like, what? She's like, she really wants, to meet up. And I'm like, well, then just tell her to fucking come here. She goes, I don't think she'll come here. And I was like, well, then whatever. Then meet her halfway. She's like, Marissa, you don't understand. She goes, I told her that it's 2 hours this way. It's going to cost me all this much in gas. And when I get there, you want to take me out for a Philly cheesesteak. And I said, yeah, and then what are you going to do? She goes, that's my point. She goes, it's not like I can go to Jill's house like I can come to your house where there's a guest bedroom ready for me and there's, food and coffee and tea and structure and like a bed and there aren't junkies around. She goes, I would have to literally drive 2 hours out of the way and then another 2 hours back to get a fucking sandwich. And I said, I feel ya. I said, listen, I get it. And then all of a sudden, this is what happened. She just got lots of inquiries and people that in her business that were ready to kick some deals going. And she flipped out. She's like, oh my God, Marissa. She was like, this is, oh my God, I need to go home. And I'm like, fucking go home. Hell yeah. Because, this is her job. Now, remember, Jill was really actually hurting Jen. Financially, she was in Jen's pocket. And then Jen said, Marissa, I lost the whole day's work because of Jill. Because Jill in the summer doesn't have air conditioning. Because her junkie siblings won't let her.
Hold on 1 second. Do you know how hard I treaded lightly with Jen and Jill? I was trying to let Jen know, stop giving her money. I can see right through this, but it's not my place to tell anybody, like, don't give someone money. So I treaded so fucking lightly with her. I was like, all right, I'm either going to have to tell her directly or just keep my mouth shut. And I was like, Jen, I love you. I care about you. Please listen when I tell you. I don't believe Jill has your best interest at heart. I didn't know how else to say it. And she was like, no, she's not like that. Okay, I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
I thought the same way too. So it gets better. So while we're having a great old time, Jill's blowing up the phone for Easy all of a sudden. Didn't want to talk to Easy before, but all of a sudden, oh, Marissa told me to do this. You should leave her Patreon. She wasn't in Patreon at the time, but she's in Patreon now. And then she tells Miss Katrina, she's asked her for money. She said, listen. Anyway, what she did was she said, Marissa does this. Marissa says this about her Patreons. She's totally lying. And then she said, and Jen is an abusive alcoholic. Now, remember, I spent a whole week in Boston with Jen. A whole week. We were in the same fucking room. We spent breakfast, lunch, dinner, going out in the hotel, networking. I never saw her abuse alcohol. Like, honestly, when we were at the Hotel Hershey, we were sent mimosas, a basket of candy, and we got all this special stuff. She didn't touch any of that. I mean, she drank a lot of Diet Coke. So when Katrina said, she called Jennifer an alcoholic, all of a sudden Katrina's husband goes, no, called her an abusive alcoholic. Jen said, no, she would never. Nope, I can't. Jen told me, Marissa, I think Katrina's lying. And I'm like, dude, I've been Katrina's life coach for a fucking couple of years now. I said, no. Oh, by the way, Jill also lies and says, I blocked this one first. Guess what? Katrina knew after Katrina told her, listen, you're not going to tell me about Molly Golightly. That girl's my friend, and I know what, it's not going to happen. She's like, I know what you're doing, not going to happen. She fucking blocked her and immediately sent me the screenshot that she was blocked. Later on, Jill changed and said, well, I blocked Katrina. So she's like, I don't know who to trust anymore. Because Jill freaked out on Katrina and said, why are you telling Molly Golightly what I'm saying? Like, Katrina, who's been my friend for all these years, did she really think that my Patreons, and you're right, they're my people that I work for, are going to be loyal to her? That's when I fucking lost my ever-loving mind. Then all of a sudden, Eazy-E, who's a huge ride or die, she calls her up. And all of a sudden, Eazy-E and Jen are messaging me like, Marissa, pick up the phone and listen in. Jill's on the phone. I listen in, and all I hear is Jill screaming at the top of her lungs. And I'm like, what? What? And then I hear, the last thing that I heard and I saw red was, Michael Eiley never did shit for me. Like, that's what I swear on Violet. I swear on Jake. I heard her say that, and I go, you're a real fucking piece of shit, like that. And Jen and Easy E are like, oh, here we know. So Jill starts freaking out. She's like, I can't believe you had these two listening. We weren't listening too long. All I had to hear was, Molly Golightly, blah, blah. It never did anything for me. You know what? You're a fucking piece of trash. You're a fucking bum. And if someone fucking comes along and accidentally runs you over with a bus, I don't care. You will not get a dandelion from me or a tear. You're a piece of shit. So all of a sudden, Court comes out. Never did like her. I'm like, wait, what? And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. I never liked that girl. I'm so glad you saw it through. Finally saw it. I'm like, why didn't you bitches fucking say something? They're like, never liked her. Never liked her. And I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, Jennifer is like, Marissa, I cannot put the pieces together. I really thought we were friends. I was getting hotel rooms for her on my fucking, like she does travel and stuff like that. And I was like, why were you getting her all these hotel rooms? She was like, oh, because Jill don't have a credit card. And I'm like, she's 43 years old. All she does is fucking nap. She works 2 hours. She works how many hours in 2 days? She's got the money for fucking smokes, right? Hitting my people up. So then she's telling me about this woman named Beezer. Now, the Beezer had another name before. I met her in person in Savannah. Nice lady. And all of a sudden, she's like, oh, this Beezer. Beezer is the one that sent me the cardboard cutout of Tom Cruise. Super nice. And I told Beezer, I said, listen, Jill said something to me that didn't sit right with me. She was like, she goes, that Beezer, her and her family got a lot of money. Sirens went off. I don't like that. Now, the thing is Beezer's not a Patreon. She's never been a Patreon. I just happened to meet her in person. She was very, very nice. And then all of a sudden, Jill started to do things like, oh, well, Beezer wants you to call her now because they want you to testify via Zoom in court. And I'm like, excuse me? They're like, yeah, we need you to testify against Michelle Sabet via Zoom for this woman with an autistic kid who Michelle threatened to kill. And I said, and who is this woman? And then she told me, and I said, oh, was that the same woman who was on camera? The lady that lived in a trailer that said, I don't like Molly Golightly? I said, yeah, tell that woman I will do nothing of the sort for her. Go fuck yourself. So she's like, well, then you should tell Beezer yourself. So I call up Beezer. I don't know if she called me or I called her.